Okay, please keep your hands and your eyes for 5 seconds, dear friends, and then open your eyes. And then let's all give a warm welcome to Dr. Newton there on your screen. Thank you, Dr. Newton, for joining this session on behalf of Soul Trance Meditation Studio. I'm going to make you co-host, Dr. Newton. 1 second. Yes. Yes, you can unmute now.
Yes, dear friends, it's wonderful, Chandra Vanigaru, for inviting me today to share some insights I have gained from past life regression field. It's my great pleasure to be with all of you.
Thank you, Newton. Can you? Your voice can be a little louder. So, is there a way you can come closer? Or
okay, yeah. Yes, I think I need to change some settings, and I will be fine. I'll be able to really create that.
The picture is great. Just the voice is a little slightly lower. I think we need.
Okay, now is it better? I'm going to sit closer to the mic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is okay now?
It's audible, but I guess I'm playing at the max volume, but still.
Okay. Then in that case, I will join through not from computer but from my iPad. It's much better. I use the this one microphone.
Yes, you'd like to do that?
I will do that. I will do that. I will just. It takes only a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, you can speak to the friends.
Yes. I'm going to. Friends, so Soul Trance Meditation Studio. I'm so glad to be organizing this on behalf of this wonderful meditation center in Bangalore. Those of you in Bangalore, so if you have not visited, it's a beautiful place with meditation studio, workshops, and this center, with run by many volunteers, is organizing several workshops and on all topics, and there are literally, we have reached out to date in the last 5 years, thousands of people in teaching meditation, and many people have transformed into teachers of meditation, or people who have been committed to doing so much service. And we're always there. There are several counselors here and in helping people to solve their life issues, real issues. And Soul Trance Center is also running a spiritual tablets center as part of it, in people who wanted to solve their health issues through the spiritual alternate modalities like meditation and wisdom. So this is located in Bangalore and in near HSR layout. And we are conducting regularly the workshops on every Saturday and Sundays, and there's always a group meditation every Sunday evening that held by Soul Trance. And a lot of the sessions are online too, through Facebook Live and stuff. So the website to go and then connect to is soultrance.com. And so today we are very happy to have Dr. Newton. And so Dr. Newton, while many of us are aware of tremendous work that Dr. Newton has been doing, along with Dr. Lakshmi, so we'll still understand from a little bit more about their work. So Dr. Newton, after completing MBBS and MD, he has completely taken up to the exploration of consciousness. So he's a self-realized master, spiritual scientist, world famous past life regression therapist and scientist, healer and teacher, all rolled into one. Dr. Newton regularly investigates ESP phenomena and practices what can be best described as healing and transformation through understanding and self-empowerment. Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi are the pioneers of past life regression worldwide. They have traveled to more than 150 countries worldwide, Dr. Newton, in teaching the message of past life regressions, meditation, and then consciousness to thousands and thousands and thousands. They have done over 20,000, or probably even more, group and individual sessions and workshops around past life regression so far. In his last 25 years of conscious exploration, Dr. Newton has founded a on around past life regression called ARRR, Association of Regression, in a worldwide organization which is exploring and which is pioneering past life regression further. And they have founded Quantum Life University as a way to provide, with a core aim of providing graduate and postgraduate degrees in spiritual science, meditation, and various faculties of spiritual science. So this Quantum Life University is established near Hyderabad in a place called Vikarabad, and it's being developed, and they carry literally a lot of work from Quantum Life University and another institute called Life Research Academy, through which they've been disseminating the entire spiritual science, meditation science, past life regressions through various forms of deep workshops. If I have to sum up in brief, Dr. Newton stands for depth of the subject. Some of you may be following him during the entire COVID. He's been giving tremendous amount of knowledge every day, one day in Telugu and another day in English, on various subjects of spiritual science, deep subjects every day for 2 hours and more, from his Facebook page as well as from the QLU Global, which is the Quantum Life University's website page. So with that, Dr. Newton, we are handing it over to you to test your mic once and then give it to you. Yes.
Yeah. Is it more audible now? Is it better?
Yes.
Okay. That's perfect. That's perfect. I'm happy to join the Sajjana Sangatya here. Dear friends, you have been meditating with Chandra and the Pyramid Valley team members, and Chandra leading this group every day. It's really phenomenal. It's really good because there's a power of the group consciousness when everyone coming together, meditating at the same time, and beyond the distances. We're using this technology to connect. It's really beautiful. We are making use of this time, this situation, for our betterment, and to raise our immune system, to learn spiritually, to grow spiritually, to update ourselves many ways. Today, I am going to share about my research work that I've been involved in since almost my beginning of my path of meditation. When I joined in meditation path 30 years back, that's 1990 onwards, actively involved in this research work called past life regression therapy. So let me share with you how I have come across this path. A little bit brief introduction. So I learned meditation from Brahmashri Pitamaha Patriji. He is my guru, and though Patriji was always simple, he says, I'm only a friend to everyone. I'm not a guru to anyone, but I consider him as my guru, guide, and friend and philosopher, everything. Because he is an embodiment of wisdom, compassion, clarity, whatever we can think of, those titles can be given. He is like the whole essence of all the masters of in the world, in the universe. So far, he brought that entire essence of spirituality. So when I met him, only simple advice that he has given is don't search for answers outside of you. And he said, I know all the answers, but I will not give you any answers. He challenged me with that. He said, he triggered me. I will not give you any answers. Find out all by yourself, but I teach you the method, how to go within, how to meditate. That's how, friends, I joined the meditation path way back in 1989, the month of December, around December. So after initial period of sadhana, my experiences began. My first experience is astral travel experience. I was outside my body. I was floating free. And I thought it's all my imagination, hallucination. But what happened is I had a kind of a beautiful verification on the same day, because I was going outside my room and I was walking in the corridor in my energy body, and I was entering into my friend's room, and I thought, let me cross-check the details, and I want to see what he's doing, and he's painting a picture of a tree. And after seeing that, I thought, this is enough. I can validate this later. If it is real, then I believe in all spiritual experience. I can put more effort, more sadhana. That's how my really quest began. And after meditation is over, I opened my eyes. I went to my friend's room, knocked on his door, and I seen his clothes that he was wearing. It's completely matching. And also, I asked him what he was doing. He was drawing a picture. He showed that picture of the tree. First time I felt that this energy body, there's energy that exists in us, which can survive. Even after we die, this body, this energy body will never die. We call it as consciousness. We call it as soul, which never dies. So I had the first glimpse about the greater consciousness that exists in us through this astral travel experience. I have experimented so many times these out-of-body journeys. Later, my other experiences started opening up. One is my past life memories. So I always used to have this experience of going out of body, as if I'm changing the gear system, gears. I'm going from the first gear to the fifth gear suddenly. Like vibrationally, something is happening in me, raised vibrational levels. At that moment, always used to have a sensation behind my back of the head, as if something is pulled back. And that point of time, I used to journey back into my memories. Initially, I used to look at the memories of my childhood. It's a spontaneous regression process that used to occur in meditation. So I was watching my forgotten childhood memories, mother's womb. One day I found myself in the ancient times. Probably it is the time when Takshashila University was in great glory. It's almost like international students used to come from across the globe. They used to come and study there. I was there as an acharya. I was teaching about the spiritual sciences. So that university that time had all kinds of knowledge, even the spiritual politics, political knowledge, and mathematics to everything. So I have very vivid recollection of that life where I was a Buddhist monk teaching the reincarnation and law of karma in that university. So after that experience was over, I was again having these kinds of doubts, whether it is my mind cooking up a story. How can I validate it? I always carried in the background this skepticism, because part of my conditioning in this life, my father told me that I'm giving you this name. I've given this name. My brother's name is Einstein. My other brother's name is Darwin. My sister's name is Curie, Madam Curie. So it's a scientist family. My father said, don't believe anything blindly. You have to believe after experimentation. After you validate it, then only believe. So that was always there in my mind, in the background of my mind. So when I got this experience of my past life, I did not believe it, honestly saying to you. I have to do more research before I have really accepted it as my true memory of past life. And I shared my experience with Patriji because that time is a lot of interaction. We used to almost literally live in their home, Patriji and Madam Patriji. Madam Patriji used to give us the food and we used to meditate throughout the night. Patriji always fond of tea. So we used to drink tea and meditate, again drink tea and share the experiences. This was the life that time. So that day when I shared, he said, more investigate, experiment with it. I was meditating, I was continuing with my experiments. So I had few more past lives that came to me, but I don't have any kind of conviction that it's a true past life memory because there's no evidence. How can I prove? It's 2000 years back. And how can I go? Those details, Pataliputra is not existing now. Even Takshashila University is not there. Even the picture of myself, I have seen myself as not this 5 feet 7 inches person, but almost 6 feet tall. A different kind of personality I was, very tall personality. So how could I validate? So that point of time, I found a book written by Ruth Montgomery, Search for Truth. She was a skeptical journalist. She also investigated into spirituality a lot. That point of time, she found amazing discoveries. One thing that she mentioned in her book is age regression, hypnotic regression. First time I heard about this word called hypnotic regression. And how the memories are stored in the subconscious mind. These memories are not remembered in an ordinary state of consciousness. When you are in the waking state, you can't remember. But when you are in a altered state of consciousness, then you can remember. Hypnosis is one of the ways. So she mentioned the procedure of it in that book. Immediately, I was curious. I want to experiment. I was living with my grandmother because from childhood, I have a very deep bond with her. She read me. She was like my mother. So I used to go to her that time. So I told her about my experience. She also asked me, requested me that I want to see my past life. So my first experiment I conducted is on my grandmother. So through giving instructions. So a little bit hypnosis and whatever I have seen on the stage shows, like how a hypnotist gives some kind of commanding voice, authoritarian voice, some kind of suggestions. I tried to mimic. I was giving her suggestions that now you close your eyes and you make your mind empty, silent, relax your entire body. You are now stepping into deep trance state. And within no time, she was in a very deep levels of relaxation. I could see her body was totally relaxed. When I was giving instructions to her to go back to her childhood and past life, she was describing about those memories. That's how my first experiment. I did not believe in her experience because she narrated about one experience about being a ordinary woman in a village in India, how she died, what happened after death, but I could not validate it. And second case study was a meditator who was coming to regularly to the Sajjana Sangatya, the group meditations there in Karnool. His name is Pratap. He's a brother of Mr. Prakash, who was my meditation friend. We were together going to Patriji at that time. So Pratap came as a beginner that day. So then that time I told him about this experiment. He was so curious. He said, I will be want to go through this beautiful experience. So this is 1991. On that day, Patriji, along with many meditators were there. I conducted a kind of regression for him. He was lying down on the mattress and I was instructing him to go back. And he visited a past life memory when he was a Russian. He was speaking Russian language in that moment. And the language which no one knows there in the group, meditation group. Then we have to ask him, I have to ask him questions like in English, what is this language? Which country are you in? He said, it's Russia. I'm a political leader. I'm so and so. And this is what I'm telling to all my people because it's like a political campaign. He was delivering a lecture. So we recorded the whole session. We have a cassette recorder. We kept it there. We recorded it. We made him to write the alphabets of the Russian language. He has written all the alphabets. On the next day, I want to validate this experience because it's something which is really beautiful, which never happened for me before. There is a information that can be validated. So I have a friend in my Karnool Medical College. He was a Russian student who studied in Russia. He was doing internship there in Karnool. So took his help and some other language experts also. They have confirmed it's a Russian language. So that day, it's the biggest aha moment for me. I believe that, yes, somebody cannot speak an unknown language. If the person has not learned the language, he can't speak that language. Language needs training, at least for a few years. It's not possible otherwise. So I believe that reincarnation is true. I have to do more research work. So my next case study was after this language case study, one person who was speaking, narrating about his recurrent nightmarish dream. He used to get a dream. He used to get a panic attack all the time. He used to get the sweating, perspiration. He used to wake up in the middle of the night. And he became very stressed out because this dream was very recurrent. So at that point of time, he said, I'm very curious about this past life regression. And I want to, if it is going to benefit me in some way, maybe because something about the past life where the root cause is there, maybe it is going to help me. So that day we tried the past life regression. In the regression, what happened is he visited a past life memory where he was a pilot. He was in an aircraft. He narrated about that aircraft. He said it is 1950, year 1950. He said it's the Royal Dutch Airlines. And also he mentioned that there are around 45 passengers and there are two pilots. There's a co-pilot also along with him. So he given all the description. Then he narrated about the next moment. They were flying from Munich airport to heading towards Amsterdam. And got completely, there was a disturbance, navigation problem has come, and he collapsed. There was an air disaster that happened. And that flight, all the passengers died. The last thoughts in his mind was, I'm responsible for the deaths of 45 passengers. I could not do anything. I'm helpless. So after this session, he said, he's a very logical person. He said, maybe I'm cooking up a story because I get this dream about aeroplane crashing into a building and recurrent dream from childhood. So maybe it is I cooking up a story. I told, even if it is a story, that's nice. And you're given some kind of information which can be validated. Why not we do some kind of research? You find out. Royal Dutch Airlines you mentioned, it's called KLM flights. Why don't you contact them? Find out whether 1950s there is an air disaster or not. He cross-checked with the airlines. He called them. He found all the details completely matching. There were 45 passengers, 2 pilots died in that air crash. Nobody survived. So, and this airplane, of course, is the same as Royal Dutch Airlines you mentioned. It is 1950s it happened. And exactly time and date, now I can't tell you exactly the detail of the time and day, but it's so precise and valid information. And it made me to believe more. After that, this person shared after a week's time, the dream stopped. The recurrent nightmarish dream stopped coming and he could sleep well. He was a chronic smoker because he has this tendency to go into a lot of stress, and to relieve himself from the stress, he used to smoke a lot. Completely, he became non-stressful and a very relaxed being. And there are many positive changes that happened. And it's really a fabulous case study for me as a researcher. So initial part of my this quest is in the research point of view. But what happened is, after I completed my medicine in 1994, I started seeing this as an alternative approach to healing, because many people started reporting back to me the healing benefits. One is getting rid of the phobias and fears, and some of them the excruciating back pain, one person. And in the past life, he was stabbed. In this life, he had this exactly 25 years age. There is pain in his back he developed, and his MRI scans were normal. But this pain was so intense. And after the regression, he found out that he was a prince, and he was betrayed by his minister. He backstabbed. He was killed in the battlefield. And that memory, when it came up, completely that healing process happened. He was relieved from that pain. And there's so many. One person from Pune, he was a Muslim. He said, I'm a Muslim. I don't believe about reincarnation, but I'm suffering. I want to commit suicide because neuroscientists, neurologists, and homeopaths, allopaths, every pati I tried, everything failed because I have this strange symptom. Half part of my body has a burning sensation. I don't know what it is, but it is so much creating stress, and I want to end my life. So I read about this, and Brand Weiss book, Many Lives, Many Masters. I want to experiment with it. If it is going to help me, I'll be fine, and I'll be okay. So I said, come with open mind. He said, you don't need to believe in reincarnation in order to be benefited. Think that these past lives are parallel lives. Maybe another part of you is living in a parallel universe, an imaginary parallel universe. It's okay if it is going to be a therapeutic for you. It is going to help you, heal you. It's better. He came with an open mind, and what he had seen is a battlefield, a soldier life, and an explosion. In that explosion, half part of his body was burnt. He experienced like a catharsis in that moment. After the session, he said, now I don't find this symptom. Maybe it comes back tomorrow because it's like a make-believe. Maybe my mind is believing in this story. That's why I'm having. I said, it's okay. Try it. Tell me, report me back after a week. After he went back to Pune, he said, after 1 week also, this symptom has not come back to me. After a month, he has written again. He said, no symptom. And completely, he got relieved from that symptom forever. For me, it's like a medical breakthrough. Almost 12 years, all the medical community doctors were trying hard on him, this and that, and they could not really help him. But even though this past life, he did not believe, but still it has helped him. I felt it's really something very, very beautiful. So that time, my wife, Dr. Lakshmi, and myself decided that we will use meditation and past life regression process as tools to help others, not treating only the physical body. Because there are many body doctors, they are experts, they're specialists, but I have this gift that I have now. I have a lot of patients to conduct regressions. So I have this deep interest, passion. My passion that time was only past life regression. Every day I used to conduct even 10 sessions per day. Almost one session used to take almost 1.5 hours. like continuously, like till night we used to conduct so many sessions. So later on we used to experiment with group sessions. Like we used to have a group of people like 30, 40, 100 people. And one of the biggest group we have experimented is with the Dhyana Mahayagnams. Dhyana Yagnams that we conduct, Dhyana Mahachakram. And those big programs like 50,000 people is a record. I think one time it was 1 lakh people. A day, 1 lakh people. Physical and also through online. Many was watching and they were regressed into past life memories. So always people report these experiences like how it is so much healing for the body, mind, and also some memories which are hard memories they're storing, which can be cured. I always feel so much motivated further to conduct these sessions. So at this point of time, what I believe is whether it is reincarnation is whether it one believes it or not, it is still a very, very powerful therapeutic tool. I like what William James, one psychologist, said. He said, in order to disprove the assertion that all crows are black, one white crow is sufficient. If you can find one white crow, that means we have to open our mind to investigate that this white crow is existing. Even in the world, at least few cases of reincarnation memories which are validated. That means we have to open our minds to know that yes, there is past life, life after life. There is lifetimes that will come back again and again. So this is something very, very beautiful. I believe that whatever William James said to the scientific community and friends, there is one scientist by name Stevenson. He was also my biggest inspiration that I want to share with you. He has done research about children. His entire focus was on children. Children speaking strange languages, speaking about past life stories. So he documented around 5,000 cases. He published certain books called 100 Cases Suggestive of Reincarnation. There's several volumes. He's a professor in University of Virginia, professor in psychiatry. Being a psychiatrist, he's something very open-minded person. So along with the whole research team, he came to India in 1948 to investigate one particular case that was reported in the newspapers, Shanti Devi case. Even Mahatma Gandhi also met Shanti Devi, I think before he passed away. It was a fabulous case. When the newspapers reported from USA, he said, along with the team, they came to meet this little girl. He was around 5-year-old girl. He said, take me to that village in Uttar Pradesh. She was speaking a different accent of Hindi. And she said, I have to meet my 4 children who are there. As if she is like a very wise and 60-year-old woman, she was talking, a 5-year-old girl. And this team with Ian Stevenson visited that village, took that girl to that particular village. She identified the home. She took the entire team to that particular home. She said, this is where I lived. They asked the details and she named all the people there who are living, still living. There are 4 of her sons who were alive at the time. She said she named all of them. And another thing is, she said, I buried some coins in the home. They had a hut. In that hut, she said, this is the place where I buried some coins. They have unearthed the coins. It was also very inspirational for me because Ian Stevenson team, they have roamed around the globe. They could really, from a scientific perspective, scientific point of view, they researched and validated about reincarnation case studies. About whatever I said now about xenoglossia, speaking strange language in a past life regression. There was a book that he has published about children speaking different languages, which they were never exposed to. And They were speaking, he could record, they could understand many things. It's a fantastic research that this master has presented. Dr. Brian Weiss is another biggest inspiration to me. So at that point of time, I didn't know. When I started my first past life regression, I have not studied Brian Weiss because I think the books came to India in 1992. But I conducted my first regression session in 91. It was highly guided from intuition. Only book that helped me is Ruth Montgomery's book, Search for Truth. And later on, I have come across many such independent pioneers around the globe. Brian Weiss, Michael Newton, Roger Woolger, Hans Stendhal. There are almost in every country thousands of these past life regression specialists, experts. So throughout the globe, even now, our medical community won't accept it, but still, there are many medical doctors kind of context. If we rightly understand the words of Buddha, we understand he was speaking spiritual science. When the mind was empty, when he was observing the breath, the first thing that he had seen, his third eye is open, and he had seen his past life, 646 past lives. And he understood the equation, how the karmic seeds, samskaras and tendencies from past lives will be coming back. The past life karmas, the past life tendencies will make us to come back again in a new body. We reincarnate. We come back in a body. So he understood this, how we are clinging to the past memories. So he found out ultimate discoveries, and he found the great wisdom. When he came out of his meditation, he got all the answers. So Buddhist monks, they knew this technology of past life regression. Buddha himself used to advise people that the body is one day it vanishes, and he used to send the monks to a Smashan Vatika the graveyard to see the corpses, bodies being burnt, so that we get this awareness that I'm not the body. One day this body will go away, but I have to know what is deathless entity that is existing in me. So that quest begins in many other people. And second thing that you used to advise is to turn the memory backwards, to look at the past, because past is continuation. So our lifetimes are like continuation. It's like we continue one after the other. So that's what Buddha has advising, has given the knowledge. And one more master I want to mention from India, Patanjali Maharshi. In Yoga Sutras, he mentioned about Prati Prasav technology. Prati Prasava means is going before birth into the previous incarnations when we lived in another body, another time period, which we find the root causes. All the causes are there in the past lives, all the effects we are experiencing now. So we get this doubt, many of us, that why do we have these kinds of strange thoughts, odd thoughts? Why do I behave in certain ways? Why do have I kind of these kind of peculiar feelings and emotions? And why am I encountering this kind of situation repeatedly, the same thing over and over again? So Patanjali Maharshi talked about this in one of the sutras. He called it as Prati Prasava technology. So dear friends, and I know as a researcher and as a practitioner of this art and science of past life regression therapy, that it has the healing potential, healing of all illnesses. Of course, there are failures in everything. I have found that there are many people who will not be able to regress. My success rate is 80%. If I try, if they also practice a little bit meditation, they can make it into 90% also. But there are cases, 10%, they don't respond. They don't get regress into past lives. So first benefit that we derive from past life regression is healing of illnesses. Second is releasing from all the specific phobias and fears. A lot of fears that we have. Fear of snakes, fear of cockroaches, fear of closed spaces, fear of success, fear of life, fear of death, fear of even unknown. People have even fear of ghosts as well. So all these fears, they have roots. That's why past life regression therapy is called as root cause therapy. If we try to only treat symptomatically, try to fix only in the superficial plane, it won't be really getting uprooted. The problem has to be uprooted from the roots. We have to go back to the roots. So that's why I find it is very helpful for fears and phobias. I have many case studies to share about the fears and phobias, claustrophobia and all these things. And somebody is asking about bipolar here. I think some of you are interacting and sending the chat box. Let me look at certain questions so that can be more interactive. Yes, Chandra, anything that you want to share?
No. I mean, as you complete, so then we can take the questions people are writing. But if you have some more to share, so it's only 5 to 8. So maybe another 10 minutes of sharing, and then we do the questions.
Perfect. Sure. We'll do that. So the third benefit is freedom from any kind of repetitive, recurrent patterns that bind us. So there are many patterns that we find in our life, like a rejection pattern, betrayal pattern, abandonment pattern, or pattern that you feel like alone. Loneliness is a pattern. Because we find that in this life, we are carrying this pattern from childhood. We notice that it is there all the time. This feeling in the background, it is there. And it's a beautiful solutions that can be found through that exploration of the past lives. And also our exploring the karmic relationships that are coming back to us in a loop. Sometimes it's a dysfunctional relationships, troubled relationships. So it can definitely show the way, solutions. What is that karmic relationship between two individuals, which is repeating like a pattern across the lifetimes? So relationship problems also, it is a very potential um, therapeutic tool. Retrieval of talents and skills. Another thing is a good way to look at this past life regression is not only clearing the baggage. Some they have no baggage. They still are curious about past lives. They can actually retrieve past life memories in order to retrieve past life talents and skills. A lot of wisdom that we have from past lives can be owned because nothing goes waste. For example, in this life, whatever knowledge, wisdom, meditation practice, all that we are doing, it is not a waste. When this life ends, everything, the body is dying, body is cremated, the soul, and all the 5 sheets that we have, along with 2 more sheets, bodies, I mean subtle bodies, this information is captured. That means our pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, and the anandamaya kosha, it captures the information, it stores this as an akashic record. So these ethereal imprints will stay with us, and when we are reincarnated, we come back. All the positive talents, wisdom also, we have it in us. So when I have tapped into a past life memory of this Takshashila University, one big thing has happened is understanding about the Buddhist wisdom. I never read Buddhist literature before 92, but after this memory, suddenly I could understand the essence of Buddha's teachings. Buddha has become my very dear, close to my heart. And I could notice that there is certain tendencies of imparting the wisdom. Always, I love to, whatever I learn, I need to teach. This was there from my past life as a teacher, Buddhist teacher. So this is another important thing. And one more thing is about discovering past our soul purpose, soul plan and purpose. In between lives, between lifetimes, we have an interim period. It's a kind of resting period. Our soul takes rest and also many activities. We are going to evaluate this, the life that we left, and also along with spiritual guides and our higher self, our soul, we plan for the new incarnation cycle. The soul plan, we have what is called as a broad outline of purpose of which we are incarnating. So without purpose, no one is born except beginner souls. Beginner souls, they're in a hurry. There's no meticulous plan. But the guide says this lifetime is for you to learn more patience. You have to learn discipline. You have to slow down certain things. But those who are little progress, maybe mature soul or old souls, we know that reincarnation memories, there are beginner souls like called as infant souls. It's like a LKG to first standard, second standard, third standard. Mature soul, when we reach into mature soul stage, we are ready for spiritual answers. Our heart center is open, our quest begins. But old souls, they are the very practice-oriented people. They are giving importance to more of practice, like meditation path and all that, old souls. And these old souls always have a meticulous plan. A soul plan is there, a purpose is there. And in this lifetime, when they come back, generally in meditation, they get these spiritual experiences very easily. And also, they discover their purpose. It is there. The soul plan becomes very clear for them, what they need to do in this life. That's why, dear friends, this is also another why we want to explore past life memories. Though we say past is gone and why we should dig our past again and again, we don't need to feel fearful about the past because we need to know our total self. Our total self consists of all the aspects of our consciousness which reincarnated in different time periods. We are good, bad, and ugly people in many lifetimes. We are also great spiritual beings. All kinds of lifetimes will be there. Tamoguna lives, Rajoguna lives, Sattva lives. Like beginner lives for everyone. If we explore those lifetimes, we have hurt someone and caused some problem, accumulated some karma. That will be there for everyone. And I must share this experience with all of you that one day I had intense pain in my left thigh. It's reason not known. There was no reason why all of a sudden I have to feel this pain. And so much intense pain. I know as a doctor, because I'm trained as a medical doctor, I know about anatomy and physiology and everything about medical science. I know this is strange. It is not, I have not fallen down. I have not done anything. And what is this? When I sat in meditation, I have explored a past life. What came up is, in one past life, I was hitting with my left leg one animal. I was very, in that moment, very arrogant, maybe very egoistic person in that lifetime. It's maybe very beginning lifetimes. So I was hitting. And also in that life, my habit, I was a rich landlord. I was always undermining people and controlling them and making them very fearful and all that. And the moment this memory came up, I met that past life self of me, that aspect, that rich landlord. I said, hey guy, I love you for who you are. Through you, I learned about this lesson about compassion, this lesson about respecting others. If you have not been mean and cruel like this, I would not have picked up this lesson. I accept you and love you the way you are. I embrace that perpetrator aspect because I carried the guilt from that life. Though that life is over, but subconscious mind always carries that stuff. So what happened is I experienced in just few, not even minutes, it's seconds only, that pain that I had, intense pain. It's like Lakshmi was also helpless in that moment. I was almost like literally my tears were rolling down because the pain was so intense. But the pain completely vanished, dear friends. Is it not something wonderful? Because when we can embrace our dark past, we can also embrace our brighter past. Our brighter past will be there, which is really very good to own. We don't mind and we are really happy to embrace those lifetimes. We are sages, we are munis, we are rishis, we are monks in the monastery, meditators. We are in spiritual service in many lifetimes. But we still carry certain baggages and which are like still unconsciously we're clinging to it. But very few meditators I have come to know that they could unclinging. They could let it go. But it's not easy. It's a heavy guilt that many people carry. This from my own experience that I'm sharing. So, dear friends, exploring our subconscious mind is the most beautiful exploration because once this mind, conscious mind and subconscious mind is completely, you know it, this mind will help us because this mind is no mind now because it's clean, it's washed off, inner cleaning happened, and then we are in the realm of the soul. I have really seen this kind of beautiful growth that happened in people. And I tell you the procedure that generally what we do in the regression process is we go in a step-by-step way. First, we uncover the memories from the childhood. We open the doors of the childhood memories. Because at third year of our childhood, there is an iron curtain. We can't go beyond third year of our life because there are very, very primal memories, very pre-verbal memories, means there's no language at that time. even much more younger memories, like when you are months old baby, they're pre-verbal memories. But we have to lift this iron curtain. The subconscious mind can open if you're willing. In a kind of deeper, kind of altered state of consciousness, one can tap into it. And then we go into in utero memory, fetal memory, and past life memory. This is the way that generally it is done. And there are different types of experiences that comes, and some people are visual people, they get the visual experience. Some they don't get the visions, but they have inner knowingness. They have all that inner kind of knowing that is called smriti. They remember, that's all, without any kind of visual detail. They know it. So that kind of experience. Some they have auditory, as if somebody is telling them in their ears, auditory experience. Some they have even a kind of experiences like gustatory experience through taste. It's strange to even share such experiences, but there are different types of experiences when we visit and explore past life memories. So, dear friends, this is my little bit sharing about my research, and we can now have an interaction and Q&As we can have.
That's great, Dr. Newton. So we have some questions. I'm trying to pick the general ones. I think the specific ones are always specific. So let's start with the first one, which is saying, one second, I'm just going from the top. Sorry about that. Can PLR help dementia patients?
Okay. So right now, everything has to be tried. I have never tried on dementia and certain kinds of what is that disorder where many of the old people, they experience a lack of memory, dementia-like states. So there are so many medical disorders like dementia kind of medical conditions. We have never tried it so far. That's why I lack expertise to confirm whether it is going to be helpful or not. But we can always try, because I find that spirituality has solution. It's a kind of spiritual healing modality, past life regression. So even meditation itself, but when a person is going into a regression process, we have to try that to awaken the memory, because we have so many neuronal cells which are unused. Maybe then we can awaken it during this kind of approach, regression process, which we have to try that. I'm hopeful that kind of research also will take place somewhere. Thanks for the question.
Okay. So Manisha is asking, in spite of attending many sessions, I could never see my past. Any specific reason why, after trying so much, I was not able to see it? I'm assuming Manisha has attended talking to past, referring about past life sessions, not just for meditation. I'm assuming.
Yeah. That. Yes. So, yes, Manisha ji, what is the solution is mostly in the group sessions, when all together, when they are going through the sessions, some of them, they don't go into past life memories. That's what is my observation. Some of them, they need one-on-one individual sessions. When a session is conducted one-on-one, it's like more of specific instructions which are given to that individual, because in a group only it's a general instructions are given in a group session. So the success rate with the individual session is far greater. You can try whichever location. There are nearly 2,000 trained masters in this field from Quantum Life Institute. We train them. So you can always try an individual session. It will be a very great experience.
All right. Another question.
Yes.
Can you talk about relationships related to past lives?
Okay.
Issues.
Okay. So most of the relationships are really, they go into a turbulence and dysfunctional states because we carry certain things from past lives. People, they come back together. Even loved ones, they come back. Even the enemies, they come back together. For example, enemies from the past life, two enemy kings, they may incarnate as father and son. So the father and son always have disagreement and they go on fighting. So we find very interesting information when we explore the past lives, so that we find the solution. They can break this pattern because most of the times the lessons are very simple. We come back again, two individuals are coming back to heal whatever that happened, which is unhealed wound in the past life. Maybe it is the betrayal, maybe it is abandonment, rejection, maybe it is a misunderstanding that has happened. One case study I will share about a woman who was not getting married. She was always hating the marriages from her childhood. And when she was really very successful in her studies, academics, and she was getting many golden opportunities to go to UK, and but she was refusing to go to London. She says that I don't want to go, and she keeps postponing things. And marriage means it's almost like she will fight with the parents. I don't want to get married. And she keeps telling many excuses, and almost she's reaching to 30 years age. So that time, parents along with her, they came to meet us, and we had a session. That session, what she has seen is stunning. So I am telling this case study because it can make us understand how relationship problems can come up in this lifetime. So in that past life, she was in the ancient times, maybe the king's time, around 16th medieval times. So in England, she was also a poor woman, a simple woman, not a poor, but a simple woman living in a village where the prince fall in love and promised her that I'm going to marry, but I'll come back. I'll go back to my place and I'm going to come back. I'll take you as my wife and we'll have a ceremony and all that. But this prince has never come back. He has promised, he committed, but he has not come back. They exchanged so much of nice gestures and so many things happened between them. But when he did not come back, till her the fag end of the life, she waited for him. Maybe he will come back after a year. Maybe he is going to come back. But at the end of the life, such a lonely death that she experienced. And she felt that I will never trust any man. I will not trust any man. Men are going to betray. He betrayed me. This feeling of betrayal was so intense. So what happened is she left the body and she reincarnated now. But in the session, what I asked her is, let's check, because as a soul, she was narrating about her body, which was old now and which she was really feeling very happy to be relieved from that life. It was lonely life. So she was telling that now, as a soul, I am ready to move to the higher planes. I said, let's look at what happened to the prince, because you waited for him. You didn't know the truth. That's now you have an access to all the memory banks. So let's understand what happened to the prince after he went back from this place. So what she saw was stunning, because she saw that prince went to a war, a battlefield. She was killed in the battle, but that news has not reached to her. Nobody to report to her. See, she has come to a misconclusion, a wrong conclusion, and some misunderstanding, and this betrayal feeling, anger, loneliness, and all that is just a kind of misunderstanding of the whole thing. In that new understanding as a soul, she was crying, sobbing deeply, and she said, no, that time she could reframe her viewpoint towards life and marriage and about men also. So later on, what happened is she was willing to marry. She also said okay to London. Opportunities had opened. She was a software individual, so she got some opportunities there. She went there. So this how uh, relationship issues also works. Some of the cases where people really meet in this life. John hurts, say for example, Mary in one lifetime. Mary hurts John in another lifetime. Mary hurts John. John hurts Mary. Mary hurts John. John hurts Mary. Mary hurts John. They keep on hurting each other, taking revenge. That's why it is like a kind of vicious cycle. So if they come across, at least one person breaks the cycle. Equally, both of them are going to be relieved from this kind of karmic relationship. So the keys are very simple. One is a right understanding, right views, right way of looking at things. Second is to understand what need to be learned from the past. Past offers the lessons. If we don't learn from the past, past repeats, the pattern repeats. So here the lesson is maybe compassion, opening the heart, and maybe the forgiveness, a deep spiritual forgiveness. Knowing that I have been a perpetrator also, I'm also hurting in multiple lives. We're coming back as enemies. And now let's break this cycle. So that kind of awareness can come to many people when we are approaching through past life regression therapy. So yes, there are many other case studies I can share. One more case study I'll share about this military person who was really very hard person. Means he never shows his tears to his anybody, any family member, because he's a brave man. He has to act brave. But when he came to me and when we were talking, and he said he was crying, he could show his vulnerable tears. He said, "I'm suffering. I'm married, and my wife and myself live in the same house. I live in the upstairs. She lives in the downstairs. We go on fighting. My wife, for no reason, she always creates a problem for me, finds problem with me every time. She scolds me. It's like she nags me. She is like a big cyclone. For me, I feel so terrible, and I feel very fearful to come back home." And he was crying. And we went into past life regression. In the memory, what she saw is, he saw himself as a kind of jamindar who used to take care of all the fields. And one young boy, he was working along with him, used to make that young boy, prevent him from going by tying him all the time, because he thought this boy will escape. In the night, he will leave me. If he leaves, I will not have any servant who is going to serve me. So he used to always take out his frustration, anger on this young boy. He became a man, and this Jamindar became an old man. But still, that young man who was always tied with the chain and the rope in the night times, that practice he continued till the end. So later, end of the life, he was feeling so guilty. Oh, what I have done to this man, this person. I have really caged him, imprisoned him. He was carrying certain guilt. And this lifetime, he could identify that boy was this wife in this current life. After that, his heart opened. How could I not now bear my wife? I will open my heart. And that day, he said, how can I not forgive my wife? Even though she scolds me every day, every night, it's perfectly all right, because I have done some heinous act in that past life. So after he went back home, strange thing happened. Wife was very calm and quiet. Never he saw that in the home that kind of peace existed before. And after a few days also, the wife completely transformed. There was no such behaviors at all. Actually, because of that, her behavior, she was taken to psychiatrists, and psychiatrists put her on the tranquilizers. She was diagnosed as some mild, the initial stages of schizophrenia, but now she was completely off from everything, and she was completely balanced. So when he shifted vibrationally, something he learned, the lesson is learned, the karmic cycle is broken. This shift that happened, vibrational level and energetic level in even the wife. So this is another case study. So this how the relationships they go through the healing process.
That's wonderful, Dr. Newton. So anything deep, intense relationship experience that we are having, then you're saying they may be likely linked to past lives. Many things are very, very deep and intense, right? I think that's something wonderful. And I loved your book in Telugu, and I'm hoping that at some point you're going to write that in English. On the relationships. It's so important, Dr. Newton. So I think we will have to. I hope at some point it'll come out of your desk, that book in English, covering all the relationships. Thank you. And so I have another one here. I know Samir has written a question saying that it's a tough thing for him that his dad is missing since January of this year. So he's trying to find him through his meditations, through Theta meditation. Is following you. He's getting some visions, but he's not able to connect to his dad. So he's asking specifically. I'm not sure if you're going to say something about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Samir, I really resonate with your whatever emotion that you're going through. It is tough. I know that I empathize with your whatever feelings are right now. And it's good that you are meditating, you are putting your efforts. But what you do is, your father finds you rather than you finding your father. If it has to happen, it will happen. Because wherever he is, you can always send your beautiful, compassionate love to him. You're a great son of him. You send out your heart energy to him so that it supports wherever he is. So you will receive whether at the right time the answer. When we have a question, there is an answer definitely, but we don't need to really, after having the question, we don't need to really intensely search here and there. Let the answer find you. Answer also is seeking you. Even your father that you're searching right now, your father finds a way to reach you energetically, vibrationally. Just you practice meditation without any expectation. You just sincerely practice. Then because you have an expectation, I had to find my father. I had to find my father. With this thought, you are not able to really get into a deep meditation state. Really meditate, leaving this thought, and know that your father finds you. You will find one day your father will be there with you. Means in whatever form, whatever way it happens is perfectly, you welcome it. So that's what is my answer to you. That's what I want to tell you. Even sometimes we get the dreams. Tap into your dreams. Sometimes we get the information, dream states.
Wonderfully said, Dr. Newton. Absolutely. So I'm sure this will be helpful for Samir. Wonderful. Vijay mentioned that God blessing that we don't remember past life memory, because one life painful memory gives so much trouble. I'm not sure you want to be in that state, though. Please go ahead, Dr. Newton.
Yes. It's really a blessing in disguise that we don't remember past lives. Otherwise, we make a big mess of this current life. But those who are adventurous ones and those who are explorers, they keep on digging deeper. They go into the depths of the ocean. They climb the Mount Everest, and those are the people who are really daredevils. They can explore, but it does not mean that these past life memories. There's no guarantee that they will be not remembered by you. When the right time comes, the many times spontaneous recalls happen. A deja vu occurs for people. When you meet people, you feel that I know this person for sure, not from this lifetime. I know this friend. He's so deep friend to me. And even a place that you visit, you feel a deja vu, a sense of familiarity with people, places, and situations. And also many other clues that you get in your everyday life. It opens these memories. Most of my memories are opened when I am very much awake, not when I am with meditation or closed eyes. Just spontaneous recall that happens because after practice of meditation that happens. So when we keep meeting a lot of people. I have been going to Spain almost multiple times, almost more than 20 times I visited because I have a very deep connection to one particular place. It's called near Barcelona. There's a place called Mascalades. So I met my past life brother. This happened 1500 years back. We were together, that brother and me. So when we met, he recalled his past life memory. And he said, "You are my brother. You have to come to Spain every year. That's all. I have to meet you. If you are not coming, I will come to India." That was the case. And it's a spontaneous recall that happened. So friends, we are such universal beings beyond country, beyond religion, beyond caste, creed, gender, all that. We are all such international beings. Sometimes we are incarnating in India, sometimes there. That's why these memories will open up even though you don't want. It's good that it is not opened for many, and so that we are able to focus on this current life. But I tell you from my own experience, I have remembered more than 100 lifetimes so far. But it did not mess up my life at all. It gained me, I'm able to focus on my life more, lot of clarity. I know the depths of each connection that I have with each person. I know from a reincarnation point of view, from eternality point of view. That's why I find, I must say this, it is not really, confusing to open the memories. It happens sometimes in meditation, it happens very naturally.
In fact, if I may say this way, right? So if I'm this life, for example, I worked for 30 years, I have 30 years of experience. If I forgot initial 25 years, I only remembered 5 years.
Yeah.
How much disadvantage I will have in this life, right? If I only had 5 years of my experience out of 30
Right.
years,
Yes,
I don't have 25. So look at the other way. And this is really that. The moment you realize that you have multiple lives and connect with them, friends, you have so much knowledge. It's much more. That's what we really remember. And then all of that put together, you'll be much more powerful than anybody else. Or you can propel your life so much forward. So see it as a very positive aspect, because that's really what the experience is really making us so rich in making our decision next, right?
Yeah.
You certainly, but yes, it's a blessing in disguise that you don't remember everything, because yes, sometimes it can be confusing. Your wife is a sister somewhere else. It's a problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So thank you, Dr. Newton. So we got friends. We got some more questions. So we will end in about 10 minutes. Newton, if you are okay for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, I am okay. I am perfectly okay.
Okay. So let's see. So maybe you can just zoom past some of them, yes, no kind of stuff, right? But let me see here. Somebody's asking, when a soul dies, when we die from a body, soul will get into another body. So you mean to say the soul will carry the past life history as well? Since people say human has 7 janmas, so how many past history a soul can carry?
Okay, human has not just only 7 janmas. We have many human lifetimes, approximately around 200 to even 600 to even 800 also. Some, they are slow learners on the school of Earth. Earth is a school. So those will take more human incarnations. But we say that for any relationship, सात janmon ke saath, they continue that relationship because they learn from each other in the 7 incarnation cycles. Maybe that is what is the old ancient saying. But from the point of view of reincarnation, it is very linear model on the 3-dimensional plane. And we have already crossed the animal and non-human lives. And when we enter into human life incarnations, we keep on progressing, whether we want to really learn or not. We constantly progress from good and bad experiences, and we accelerate our evolution when we join first time in meditation path or spirituality is coming into our life. That point of time, we accelerate our human evolution. That means unnecessary cycles of birth and death, we cut short. For example, studying 10th standard 10 times, it is not necessary. Only one single time is enough to study one particular class and learning the lessons. So we cut short many of the incarnation cycles when we are coming into meditation path, because it cultivates discipline and awareness.
Thank you, Dr. Newton. Sakshi, you could read a beautiful book written by Dr. Newton, The Science of Past Life Regression, to understand this and many more. That's like a lovely, lovely book. Anybody want to explore? Anybody want to overcome anything around the fear? So that's the book to read. So, Dr. Newton, we have a very good question, very relevant, I feel, from Sushmita. Sir, I've seen your videos and you and Dr. Lakshmi talking about autism. I want to know more about the reason for its existence and why the cases are increasing in the present world.
Okay.
And does it have any relation to past lives and things? Yes.
Yes, I see there all the children who are specially abled children. They are not really special children. They are specially abled. They have different abilities. They are great souls. Generally, an advanced soul, old souls, they choose to reincarnate either for the sake of the learning lessons for the entire family, or it is sometimes in that lifetime as an autistic child. Sometimes they just slow down in that lifetime. They have extraordinary intelligence, because my interaction with many autistic children, they emit the frequency of a saint. I found sometimes I visit many places. I met many autistic children. I worked with their parents, and they were interested about to know what kind of past life connections we have, why this child has chosen this kind of limitation, what is the reason. So generally we conduct regression for the parents, not for the child. The child is already in a kind of beautiful spiritual divine vibrations. So generally parents, when they see in the past lives, what they see is an advanced soul, a great soul, incarnating in that family. Sometimes to facilitate the learning process for the parents to teach them about unconditional love and total acceptance of the child as he is. So certain lessons are facilitated. So we should not take it as some karma, because not all things can be attributed to bad karma or negative karma. No, not at all. And I found if 50% cases are karmically related, 50% are very progressive in nature. They are like great souls. They choose challenging lives. They choose always a very, very challenging life. That doesn't mean these challenges, these difficulties are coming from the bad karma. No, not at all.
Thank you, Newton. I'm skipping some questions, friends, which I feel are already answered. I may not be relevant. So another one from Janaki. Is the PLR a valid tool for teenage young adults' unexplained depression?
Yes, Janaki. It's a very beautiful tool for teenagers to help them to make them understand how vast they are, because their consciousness is coming across many lifetimes, their journey. They gain such a clarity at a very younger age. This experiment was conducted in Russia. They don't believe about reincarnation, but they have studied about reincarnation from India. So they conducted in a school to all the teenagers, even the younger age group also. They allowed all the children to go back into past life memories where they were genius and experts. What they found is they could reinforce that great strength that they had and abilities and talents, and all the children started excelling. The teenagers found a beautiful way to bring out shine like superstars. Like most of the teenagers, they have these temperamental issues, losing the balance and shouting, screaming, rebelling, and all that. So there's such a beautiful shift they have noted. This is a successful experiment, research conducted by Russians. So you can check that book, Sheila Ostrander, Psychic Discoveries Behind the Iron Curtain. That's the book. And we have also helped a lot of teenagers. It's really a very interesting tool which can help the teenager. Thank you.
All right. Wonderful. I think we're going to just take one more little advance. Is it possible to have issues, memories from multiple past lives occurring in the present life at once?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because some lifetimes are called as completion lifetimes. For example, it is you planned this life where you are whatever those things from many lifetimes which are not integrated, you are integrating in this life. Then what happens? Multiple issues. Maybe one lifetime, 2000 years back, Egyptian life, one lifetime, Chinese life, or immediate past birth, maybe in Tibet. Some of these things you integrate in this life, or those issues will come up. You'll be addressing to them. Some of the advanced souls, they are very courageous ones. They take up all the challenges. They say, oh, let me finish off everything now. Let me learn quickly. I don't need to, multiple lives are not required. In this lifetime, I learn all these things. I integrate all these things. So it is kind of integration and completion lifetimes. So there are different types of lifetimes. Some of the lifetimes called somersault. For example, somersault is one lifetime you experience as a monk, and the next life you feel bored by being a monk, and you want to be like an adventurist, an explorer. You will be like a Zorba. Another life you're a monk, and something like that. You one lifetime you are a soldier, another lifetime you are a painter, an artist who works with the heart energy. So this kind of somersault lifetimes, or two people can do the somersaults, like mother and daughter. In this lifetime, she is a mother and another is a daughter. Now they change the places. Next lifetime, the daughter becomes the mother, mother becomes the daughter, because they have to learn from each other's viewpoint so that they can correct their understanding. They can heal their relationship. That's why is integration lifetime. We take up all the problems at one time, one go.
Last question, Dr. Newton. I think we will close it here. So it is something that many people ask me, and that many are always that way. It says that even though there are no mistakes that I'm making, I always seem to be on the receiving end and suffering here. Is it because of a past life issues that I've made mistakes in I committed the past life, or I just designed that when I came here?
So it's when you go into a deeper meditation, you can understand that feeling that you always carry. If you're carrying the victim feeling, oh, I'm being in the disadvantaged position. I am a doormat syndrome. People take advantage on me, and I'm helpless and I'm powerless. People always hurt me badly. This is called victim feeling. But those who are in a progressive path, like an advanced soul, chooses all the challenges. They choose the toughest life, like Lord Rama has chosen the toughest life. He walked as a young lad into the forest. He had a palace, but never lived and all the luxuries. He was in the forest for 12 years, and he was just eating vegetables and grass and all those things, fruits, and not even footwear. And such a tough life, and all the Rakshas all the time hitting Rama, but he never complained. He because that plan of him is nothing to do with the victim energy. He never carried the victim energy. He's such an enlightened being. Purushottama is the greatest champion in the enlightenment field, and he's a very progressive, like a Lord Krishna example. Many masters, they choose that. But if we are carrying the victim energy, it means definitely we need to work on it. There is definitely a cycle called victim perpetrator cycle, which is continuing. Whatever that you are receiving in the receiving end, this is what you have given out in that lifetime. So the solution now is accept that part of you which has given out hurt to others. Say to that part of you that I totally accept you as you are. Through you, I learn now about compassion. So there is a beautiful, this cycle is going to be completely breaking. And there is a deep forgiveness that comes out of us. We forgive all those people who are hurting now. We say that through you, now my karma is getting utilized. I'm closing the chapters now. So this is how it works. You are the best person to interpret your experience in meditation. Check what is that feeling that you get in your meditation.
Thank you, Dr. Newton. So certainly there are more questions. I think they'll go on. And some are there in the relationships. You beautifully answered that between that colonel and his wife. So I suggest people to go back and listen to that, and also read. There is a mirror on relationships. In one of the mirrors is about past life issues, right? But certainly, as Dr. Newton said, we do want to check with meditation, with our thought pattern, how are we attracting that person to our partners? And then secondly, the childhood issues. Then you go and understand your past lives. But having said that, spiritual practice, strengthening spiritual practice requires that one explore life beyond lives. Absolutely. Understand that at a minimum, we understand that there is something like this. And I have personally understood this subject quite deeply. I may not have had a deep, although I've seen a glimpse of my past lives, unlike Dr. Newton, who has seen extensively the 100 past lives, right? But however, friends, the past life regression as a concept, as a subject, when we understand deeply, and we transcend with it, then we are overcoming our fear of death, fear of ghosts, fear of losing close relationships, fear of old age. So there are many, many fears that we don't know that are stopping us all the time in excelling in this current life. So that's why Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement, that's why Quantum Life University, Dr. Newton, and the Stolten Meditation Studios are all encouraging strongly to explore this subject more and more. And so Dr. Newton, so some people have asked, how can I do sessions? I know there's a lockdown here. You always are doing workshops. And many of your Quantum Life University has got many teachers. They are doing workshops. I know you're doing workshops in multiple cities. So would Harika, or you would say something? I know we spoke about having in this COVID situation, doing probably an online session sometime in the next 2-3 weeks.
I think definitely we can plan for an online session. I will design. First time we are going to experiment, because generally what we do is the physical presence is much better, but we need to make sure that internet is not going to be interrupted, because you are in a past life, suddenly internet drops. And some people, they feel stuck. That's why I feel certain precautions we need to take. And also, I say that if you are addressing to certain the deep issues, certain intense issues in the life, you always have somebody bystander with you during the session. We are going to attempt it after lockdown period is lifted out of 7th. Definitely, we were going to do that, Chandra, and yes.
Okay, great. So we will then plan one. I hope Dr. Newton, we can plan a session and experiment and explore. I think this whole internet and digital media is helping so much reach to people. So I'm sure people can go through it in the right way. And then, so thank you, Dr. Newton, so much for taking time. I know you just came off from a deep, intense 2-hour session, and then you ran into this right away. And dear friends, it's great to see you all holding on. So many of you have joined the 5 p.m. session with me there, and then otherwise you probably have been with Patriji and the other way in other sessions. It's a time of great learning, and all of us are enriching ourselves by exploring more and more. It feels great, and it inspires us time and again to come back with more. And so thank you so much for taking time. It's an honor and pleasure to be sharing all of this information. And then Dr. Newton, we can, so entire Sultan's family is deeply in gratitude to you for taking your time and giving the session free to us. And QLU is doing a wonderful job. I can tell you, friends, Quantum Life University, they organize a program called Soul Coach. It is a 20-day program, 10 days in semester 1 and 10 days in semester 2, totally free program. And then Dr. Newton gives it away. Everything he's learned for 30 years, he's all packed it so well, so beautifully, and then taken care residential program. And then if you do that, whatever we experience in 40 days, 60 days is all rewired, our brain circuits rewired in 10 days. And everyone who did that, thousands of people walked out as a totally new person. So it's a very highly demanding, in-demand course. But Harika, can you please retype the website address and phone numbers at the last message so that people can take care of it? It's QLU Global, Facebook/QLU Global, and YouTube/QLU Global, and there's a phone number that Harika Surya has written there. In case you want to, some of you asked how to reach out to Dr. Newton and the team. So you can reach out by that phone number. So can you retype that phone number? I'm not able to find it. Just type it at the end. All right, friends. So with that, thank you, Dr. Newton. Vani ma'am, and you as a co-founder, would you like to say something on this before we close?
Yes, Vani madam, thank you. And it's always such a good feeling that I get when I see both of you, Chandra and Vani Garu. You're doing such amazing, beautiful work. And through Soul Trends, through Pyramid Valley, and all the sessions that you're conducting, Chandra, it's really touching the hearts of many people around the globe. It's a ripple effect. It's a snowball effect. And thank you, Vani madam, once again.
Thank you, sir. As usual, every time it's a great session and great knowledge sharing. Really wonderful, sir. Thank you so much. And we asked and immediately you accepted, and really a positive thing. Thank you so much. Again, we want to see the Zoom classes in Soul Trends.
Yes, sure.
Both.
Sure. Thank you.
Yes, we want Dr. Lakshmi also at some point. Sure. As the next
yes.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. And certainly thank my Soul Trends. One second. I thank my Soul Trends team, Pradeep, Ravindra, Santoshi, Kalpana ma'am, and so many teachers are from Soul Trends have been teaching, friends. If you are in Bangalore, Soul Trends Meditation Studio is always open. The people, our masters are going to your homes, and then they conduct a divine home meditation for 10 days, where they'll meditate with you, with your community, and then as a way for you to get that into your life. Otherwise, you can more than walk into Soul Trends and then get that counseling. So we're offering a lot of free services, so take advantage of it, or send your friends who need that help. And so suddenly we'll come back to you with the date for this online past life regression session as soon as Dr. Newton gives us the date. So thank you all once again, and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you all.